Ready to get the show on the road?
Sure.
All right. Don, make the introductions.
I think I've already done that.
And we're ready
Is
to-
Gary still on there?
Yes, I'm still here.
I'll see your video for some
You
reason.
gotta scroll it.
All right.
It's showing you I'm here.
Oh, there you are. You're the lamp. Okay.
Yeah.
Give it a little chrome reflector.
Okay.
I can bend it down and see more of my head.
This is Rosemary, and we have Matthew here.
I'm
From
waving at the
FileMaker.
camera.
And yeah, there he is. Everybody, and for posterity's sake. And Rosemary's going to give us a presentation.
Yeah.
Consulting engineer.
All right. So first of all, can you hear me okay on the web? Or should we switch the internal microphone to my computer?
It'll pick up.
Yeah, you're fine. I can hear you fine.
All right. Very good.
Nice.
All right. So my plan for today is to do the FileMaker 13 platform overview. So if you saw any of our webinars, either right before or right after launch in December or in January, it's the same demo, but you get to interrupt me and ask questions, and we can go down tangents and do a deep dive on some aspect of the technology that you all are curious about.
Okay.
So that's my plan. But before I get started, I just wanted to do some quick introductions since we are both new faces to you. So I'm Rosemary Tietge. I've been with FileMaker for about 8 years. I just relocated to headquarters from the East Coast in December. Cleverly missing winter in Boston this year.
Yeah.
I know that joke is not going to work much longer because
Memories are short.
memories are short, and this winter was truly dreadful from everything I've heard from friends who are still there. But we've done some restructuring and some reorganizing over the past year, as you guys probably all know, and a lot of that is around new sales leadership. So I'm really excited, having been with the company for 8 years. Our new sales vice president, Brad Freitag, is pretty amazing, and he's great to work with and work for. And he's brought on one new sales director who's a regional director for the West Coast, whose name is Ryan McCann, who, if you're coming to DEF CON, you'll have the opportunity to meet both of them. And also as part of that, we finally have a new account manager in the Southwest, and he's actually based in the Southwest, out in LA, and that's Matthew Goldman. And he's already introduced himself. Yeah. And we've also done some restructuring internally as part of this. So I don't know if you've called in to buy licenses or to talk to anyone in our inside sales team. It's different every time. It's true.
Yeah.
And I think we finally have gotten to stability there too.
Okay.
So there's the key change is there's two changes there. The first is we've split the inside sales team. It used to be one person did everything, and now we've actually got 3 discrete groups of people that do different things. We have a group of reps that are solely focused on new business. So if you're dealing with a customer who's never had FileMaker before, you're going to call and talk to Bill Griffin, who is the new business, or we call him the hunter, for
a while he was the guy that was taking care of the sales, but now he's doing something else.
No.
He was doing fulfillment, I mean.
Yeah. No. But he is doing, he is all about net new business.
Okay.
So if you've got a new prospect who's never had FileMaker before, for license sales. For customers that already have licenses and need expansion or renewals, called Monique Reynoso, and she's what we call the farmer for the territory. And then we also have a small team that is focused solely on small business or small license footprint renewals. Because like the goal there is to just get that revenue in quickly. So the other person,
Shlomi.
is it Shlomi? Yeah, we've got, and I can't keep track. That's something that keeps changing. And that's
we don't have a chance then, do we?
Well, I mean, so you can always call. If you have questions, you can always call Monique, and she'll probably say, they're basically processing our systems generate that renewal letter every year. And if it's a deal if it's revenue, if the balance due is only a few $1,000s, it's going to go to that team. And they're the
Wendy's still there?
Wendy's still there. Yeah.
Wendy
she's
always helpful.
Yeah,
So.
Wendy is actually doing hunting is Hunter on the East Coast now.
Okay.
And then if you've got clients outside of the Southwest, that's a different team.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
just bought some licenses for Minnesota.
Yeah.
That was it.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, so the easiest thing to do is, I mean, I know if you're an FBA member, we're keeping the listings up to date. It's pretty, so the best thing to do is go to the FBA site and grab the latest sales territory spreadsheet, because that's going to have the right person for each state.
Okay.
Or, call the 800 number and say you don't know your rep and put in the state for where you're buying the licenses for, and you'll get to the right person. So we know that's hard.
One last thing, we got the web that you can make purchases on.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a customer that already has a contract, and you have the existing contract number, and you have that information, it's actually quicker, and you'll get the download link instantly by going through the web.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, if you call Monique and she has to put it in manually, sometimes it could be even a 1 or 2 day turnaround, depending on the system just processing everything. But
I know a great database you could use.
We use that great database, but there's
Well, so.
but it's really about, so for new licenses, easiest thing to do, hands down, is use the FBA store on the website. And if you've got questions about that, send me a note or get in touch with Julie Sigfrinius, because she can get you the documentation on how to do that and streamline that process. But anything where there's upgrades, renewals, or license consolidations, it's going to have to come back into the right sales rep.
Yeah. But, when I called in the Minnesota thing, I think it was Bill steered me to the other guy.
Yeah,
named
exactly.
Tom or somebody or something like that. I can't remember who it was now, but I got his number.
Stephen.
Was it Stephen?
Stephen Day.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. I know.
I dealt with him via email. I never talked to him.
All right.
Now we know what he's at.
So that's kind of what's going on in FileMaker, and part of why things have been in upheaval. But I think we're in a really stable place. We've had a couple great quarters. This last quarter, sort of post-launch, was phenomenal. We set a record for billings in Americas. So people are very happy right now. We want to keep it that way. So we want you guys to be happy, so we can keep, bringing us business. And if you haven't figured out, from that restructuring and things, we are really focused on growth. We definitely want to maintain the customers that we have, but we're also really looking to get into new places. And I'll talk a lot about mobile as we get going, but mobile is iPad, iPhone, that's really where we're seeing the growth coming from.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to dive into the presentation. And this is really, this is the slides that marketing gives us. So it's not necessarily very techy, but it's all the headline things about FileMaker 13. And our goal for 13 was really to build on the promise that we started with FileMaker 12. If you think back 10 years when FileMaker 7 shipped, that was really painful and revolutionary for FileMaker developers. And, we had 9 years or eight or 9 years of the FileMaker, the .fp7 file format and platform. And, every release delivered a lot more value and a lot more things you could do on that platform. And then we had another wave of FileMaker 12. And so FileMaker 13 is the first payoff of that promise.
Yeah, the transition from 7 format to 12 was much easier.
Much easier. Yeah, well, because we're not fundamentally changed. We made some deep changes to how layouts work, but we didn't make any deep changes to how the data model itself works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I know a guy at work that was going to go to 7, and he said it wasn't worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, the rebuilding of 7 was hard, especially if you had a very mature, complex system.
Yeah, his was, yes.
So other key focuses, as I said, we're focused on growth, and the biggest area for growth is iOS. So we're building a lot to make your iOS solutions even better. And really, you can now build for iOS in FileMaker something that really feels like a native iOS app, and not like FileMaker running inside of an app on iOS.
Yeah.
So, themes and styles, we'll dive into that a lot. And some security features, and then always the slide full of developer features. We can dive into some of those. So with the web technology, our goal is to get to a place where you can deliver a desktop-style FileMaker solution in a web. And the places where we see this, this isn't a way to reach a broad public with a website. It is a way to reach partners, to reach occasional users who maybe need some, dashboard type functionality, a way to extend reporting or dashboards to internal or external users. But generally, it's going to be not a big quantity of users, and it's going to be known users. The new web technology is not about setting up a registration, using FileMaker to build a really nice registration form for the web and then put that out to the public.
Mm-hmm.
It's about extending the core functionality in a way that feels and looks very nice.
You're talking about Web Direct?
I am talking about Web Direct.
Okay. Now it's up there. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, this is really about leveraging your FileMaker skills to extend the reach of a FileMaker solution to a group of known users or a group of occasional known users. And it really is amazing, and it's not exactly a replacement for instant web publishing. Everybody wants to pigeonhole it, who's been with the platform for a long time. They want to pigeonhole it into the instant web publishing replacement.
Yeah.
And it's not. The technology is fundamentally different. And, it's relying on, sort of modern tools like HTML5, CSS, JavaScript, Vaadin, which is the underlying engine that does the sort of FileMaker to HTML5 translation, and not on the really outdated old web publishing engine stack that we built for FileMaker 7. I mean, it does replace instant web publishing, but it's not like the use cases, it doesn't replace all the use cases that people used instant web publishing for. And I'll demonstrate that. And the other key thing about WebDirect is it's only supported on very modern browser technology. It's supported on Internet Explorer, Chrome, and IE 9 and 10. So nothing else.
Why not Firefox?
Because Firefox isn't quite all the way there yet with the standard support. It mostly works on Firefox, but you may get a few weird things. It's really about the HTML5 and CSS support on that browser version. So, like, from what I hear, it mostly works with Firefox, but we can't. If you have problems, we're not going to support you with problems.
So, how far is Safari from it?
I think it's pretty much any version of Safari. So it
is compatible?
Not the iOS version.
Well, not iOS, but yeah, I don't know. I can't keep up with what Safari version we're at now. I just think of it as part of the operating system.
Yeah. There's